Idly, I reach up and remove my necklace, letting it dangle from my palm. My bead stands out from the other regular ones on the chain, since it's still glowing ever so slightly. It's a part of me, not something separate that came to me. It came from within me, and while I've never questioned that, never thought about what it might mean, it has to mean something. Would I even exist without it? Probably not. Not like I am now. I would have died as a regular fox many, many years ago. Curling my fingers around the bead, I can feel my heartbeat, pulses in the bead too. Close my eyes and try to clear my thoughts of everything except the feeling of the tiny orb in my hand. I focus on it, letting myself feel it the same way I'd feel a pillow against my head or grass beneath my feet. Slowly, pictures come to mind. Visions of the sky and the sea and the forests. Visions of people passing by, although their faces are just a blur. Not visions, memories. My memories and experiences live on in this bead somehow, same way they live on in my heart and mind. It's been changed and strengthened as a result of what I've been through, same as any muscle. Magic courses through me, as basic as my breath and blood. I know that in there that I can't get rid of it. Even if there's a way, I don't want it. Like any other part of my body, I have to learn to live with it and nurture it. I don't want to be forgotten, but I don't want to lose this part of myself either. I can feel it. It's needy. Neither of us are ready yet. There's still a craving that I can't identify. What is it that I'm missing? What do I still need to give it? There are other things too that make it even more confusing. Like how Cello could remember me. Was it something special about her? Has something about me changed? Time and again these past few months, I've found that answers I've known all along rest inside me. Feelings that I thought I was incapable of come naturally. Why would this be any different? It's a puzzle, but puzzles have solutions. I don't know what the answer is, and I barely even know the question. But I can feel that something about myself is going to change soon. How and when, I don't know. It's just an instinct, same as so many other things. Uncurling my fingers, the pulsing of my heart gets less noticeable. I open my eyes to see my bead looking just the same. I'd been half hoping that it would be different already, but it's not that easy. Put my necklace back on and climb into bed, burying myself beneath my blankets. Even under the covers, in the dark, the light of my bead shines through faintly like a nightlight. One would argue that in the dark it's probably easier for it to shine through. Just like a couple days ago, some of the first patrons to arrive at the library on Friday morning are Cello and her friends. This time it's Pippa who holds the door for the other two, who enter with their arms full of books.
Hey, you guys! Good morning, Ms. Miho.
They stopped by for a bit yesterday as well, so all three of them should still remember who I am. All three of them come to my desk, where Cello and Armand carefully set down the stacks they're carrying. Juliet, who hasn't gone to bed yet, emerges from the shelves where she was putting away some books and approaches us as well.
Miss Juliet! We brought back all the stuff that we borrowed.
Thank you. I can see you took great care of them. Were you able to complete your project?
We did. Pippa and I took lots of notes, and Armand stayed up all night writing a script. We decided to put together a play about the history of Wellington, using the library as the main location. Armand and I will be the actors, and Pippa's going to make the decorations.
I said we should do an art project, but Armand didn't want to.
Which is wild, considering a play is basically also an art project with all the props and backdrops and shit.
You just didn't want to have to read.
The two of them glare at each other, and Cello rolls her eyes at both of them. I feel a little bad for her, even though I know they're all friends when it counts. Like, a play just seems like so much more fucking work. That's so much more work. Why would you do that to yourself?
That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm glad you were able to find something interesting.
Yeah, there was so much to read, I almost forgot to sleep. I wish we could stay longer. If we ever come back, could we borrow some more books?
Of course. Books are for reading, after all.
Armand flaps his wings in excitement, like he's already planning a return trip.
I miss my own bed. I'm glad we're going home soon. No offense.
I miss home as well, but I'll miss it here too.
You'll just have to come visit again sometime, like Armand said.
I'd like that very much. I'm a little nervous about participating in a play, but maybe it won't be so bad.
Well, acting's easy. You've just gotta have fun with it.
I don't think it's easy.
Right.
Have you done much acting before, Armand?
Just a little bit. I like watching people perform in plays, though. But this is my first time writing one.
I enjoy it as well. I've had the good fortune to know several playwrights myself, and now I know one more.
Armand blushes at the praise. I've never seen a play myself, but I basically know what they are. It's like watching TV in real life.
If our teacher records it, maybe we can send it to you and Miss Miho to watch.
I'm not so sure about that idea.
Aw, why not? You're gonna do great. We can rehearse on the way home to get some extra practice.
How are you going to rehearse when you're sitting on an airship? You won't have a stage or any props.
I mean, you have to rehearse lines. That's part of it.
We could still go over the lines.
Okay. Let's figure that part out later.
Cutting off the argument before it happens, Cello faces Juliet and me again.
Unfortunately, we do have to leave because our class is going to the Skyport soon. But before we go, I had another question for you, Ms. Miho.
Sure. What is it?
Well, would it be okay if I wrote you a letter sometime?
Aw, pen pals.
A letter? About what?
Just about life in Amarina. And you can tell me about life here. I thought maybe we could be pen pals. If you don't want to, though, that's alright.
You've picked the worst person to be a pen pal with. Just on a skill level.
Oh, I'd like to. I've never had a pen pal before.
I'm not entirely sure what it is either.
Neither have I. But I want to hear more about Wellington and how it's still changing today.
That sounds like fun. Let's do it.
Thank you. I already can't wait.
Oh, maybe you could get extra credit, too.
We'd better not need it after we do this play.
We won't.
Slowly, the five of us move back outside to the front of the library with Armand and Juliet chatting about the books he read. Soon, it's time for them to head off.
Thanks again, Miss Miho and Miss Juliet, for showing us the library and letting us borrow stuff.
Yeah, thanks.
It was our pleasure, I'm sure. Right, Miho?
Yeah. I hope you guys get a good grade.
Me too.
It's sad to think that Pippa and Armand will have forgotten me by the time they get back home. I'm glad that they had a good time, though, and it was nice to be able to help out a bit. Even if it was mostly Juliet who helped them.
I appreciate it too. I'll be sure to tell you all about how it goes when I send you that letter.
Sounds good. Bye, you guys.
Goodbye.
I wonder if she'll continue to remember me. Like, I almost wonder if maybe she should have made this agreement with Juliet instead, just in case. All three of them wave as they make their way down the hill, and Juliet and I wave back for as long as we can. Once they're out of sight, we go back inside.
I wonder if Cello will be able to remember me long enough to write a letter.
That's what I'm saying.
I hope so. It was nice of you to agree to be her pen pal.
She reminded me a lot of myself. She's new to Amarina too, and still getting used to living there.
In that case, I'm sure she'll appreciate having you to give her advice.
I don't know if I can be very helpful there.
Sometimes, when it comes to young people, just having someone to listen and be interested can be enough.
I can do that at least.
I know you can. You're always capable of more than you think.
I hope you're right.
After gathering up the books the kids brought back, Juliet and I kiss each other goodnight and she goes upstairs while I get ready for my normal day at the library. At some point, I hear the sound of an airship passing overhead and wonder if it has Cello and the others on board. Whether or not I do get a letter from her, I'm glad they all had a good time. I hope Cello can start to feel more at home in Amarina soon. One of the most valuable lessons that I've learned from living at the library is that it's important to feel like you belong somewhere. Let's go to the waterfront. The view from the waterfront is really just the best on a clear day. I take a long, refreshing sit and enjoy the seemingly endless expanse of water. Sometimes it's nice to just enjoy the sight of nature without any expectations. But my patience is rewarded with the sight of dolphins passing by. They're far away, just the smallest glimpses of dorsal fins moving in a group, but they're unmistakably dolphins. I whip my head around and it doesn't seem like anyone near me has noticed them, but I guess nobody else is really staring out into the horizon either. What a nice surprise. On Saturday morning, I wake up around my usual time, but linger in bed for a while. I can hear the distant sounds of Aspen and Juliet having an animated conversation. Aspen laughs, then Juliet laughs. I don't know what they're laughing about, but I smile too. I just like hearing my girlfriend laugh after all, no matter what kinds of troubles are weighing on our minds. If she's able to laugh despite everything, then that's a win in my book. Aside from a couple hasty meals, it's been a while since the two of them have really gotten to spend much time together. Sometimes it's easy to forget that they've known each other longer than they've known me. Outside, it's shaping up to be another beautiful day. There are clouds, but none of them are rain clouds. The trees and grass sway in a gentle breeze beyond my window. I've had more beautiful days here than I can count. Even Wellington weather at its worst isn't so bad from indoors. I open my window, enjoying the morning air as I freshen myself up too. Making my way silently to the kitchen, I pause just out of sight and listen.
I've given it lots of thought.
I have, but I still can't decide. Regina really wants me to take it, of course, but...
But there are good and bad parts of both.
Exactly. I feel like... I'm not sure who to compare it to.
No need to compare. I understand what you mean.
For a little while longer, I stay where I am, unseen. Not because I want to eavesdrop or spy on Aspen and Juliet, but because I don't want to interrupt them. I just want to let them talk. Maybe I'll do just that. Hearing Aspen express some of her worries and hearing Juliet offer words of encouragement reminds me of some of my earliest days here. Both of them changed their lives around to include me, which is something I'll always be grateful for. Still, I should give them a chance to spend some time with just each other. Not because I feel unwelcome, but because that hasn't really happened since I arrived. Eventually, there's a moment of silence, followed by the sound of a cup being set on the table. I choose this time to make my entrance.
Ah, there you are.
Good morning, Miho.
Good morning!
I go into the kitchen and grab a piece of toast and an apple, but I don't sit down.
Sleep well.
Sure did. Now that I'm up, though, I think I'm gonna go for a walk.
this early? Well, it was quite nice on my way up here.
Yeah, I used to go for morning walks all the time. But it's been a while.
You couldn't have picked a better day, it seems. Enjoy yourself then, Miho.
I will. See you when I'm back.
For good measure, I wrap a couple more slices of toast in a paper towel and put them in one of my deep pockets, along with another apple and some packs of jam. I wave goodbye before I leave, then I head back to my room to get dressed before stepping outside towards the road. Munching on my breakfast as I walk, I hum a song to myself that I heard on TV. I go in the direction of the ocean, same as usual. My days of aimless wandering really have decreased. I actually have places to go now, people to see. A day without any plans is a luxury. Wonder how Jong-in chose where to go on their travels. What first brought them to my forest all those years ago? Was it on a whim? Or was there something in particular that they were searching for? If there was, I hope they found it. Would have loved to ask. Would have loved to tell them all about Aspen and Juliet. More than anything, though, I wish I could have thanked them. Our time together was short, even by human standards, but it still meant everything to me. Take myself to Mount Victoria and start the familiar climb. But before I get to the top, I stop. It's only been a couple of days since I last came here and saw Silver. Trying to visit her again so soon might be pushing my luck, but then again, so is trying to visit her at all. The lukewarm toast and apple in my pocket aren't much, but if she lives anything like I did, she'll still probably appreciate them. Though she'll probably also be like, an apple, I can get that literally anywhere. Even if she doesn't say it. Instead of transforming, I stay on 2 feet, heading in the same direction I went last time. Not too concerned about finding her. If she wants to be found, she will be. Keeping my eyes and ears peeled, I watch for a glint of silver fur or the sound of a snapping branch. When I finally spot her, it's purely by accident. Once again, she's in her human form rather than fox. With her back to me, she kneels at the edge of a patch of grass, tension focused on something I can't see. She doesn't move as I approach, although I'm sure she knows I'm there.
Be careful.
What? I halt, still a few feet away. At least she didn't call me a dog.
What is it?
I approach delicately, scanning the ground before every step. Finally, I arrive behind her and look down to find my answer. Does she just live out here playing fucking veterinarian? Yep. A bird about the size of my hand lies on its side in the grass. It's alive, but clearly injured.
What happened to it?
This one was blown from its perch in the tree. For whatever reason, it was too weak to fly. Now, its leg is broken. It won't be long until it dies.
Looking down, I see that Silver's right about its injury. It struggles to flap its wings, but can't even push itself into a standing position.
Poor thing.
I kneel down beside Silver.
You were trying to help it, right?
She scoffs.
It is beyond help. Such is nature's way. I simply thought to put it out of its misery.
You're so annoying.
You didn't, though.
Silence. Before doing anything else, I reach into my pocket and pull out the food I brought with me, holding it out toward Silver.
Here, I brought you this.
She looks at it but doesn't make any move to accept.
What is this? Poison?
Yeah, so you'll finally die.
It's an apple. And some toast. It's not poisoned. I ate some myself. Ooh, and this.
I have to dig all the way down to the bottom to find the little pack.
Grape jelly.
Silver stares incredulously like I'm trying to give her, well, poison or something. I set the food down by her knees and turn my attention back to the bird.
Let's get you some help, Birdie.
I cup my fingers together and reach for the bird, which finally gets a reaction from Silver.
What are you doing?
Her voice is sharp like a knife.
I'm going to take this guy back home.
I may not know what to do, but I'm sure Aspen or Juliet will. Or at the very least, they'll be able to tell me where the fucking veterinarian is. It's better than just leaving it out here to die.
Why? It's weak. Even were it to survive today, it's only a matter of time before something else claims its life.
So what? I'm sure that time still matters to it. Both of us can relate, right?
As gently as I can, I slide my hands around the struggling bird and scoop up the poor little thing. Its beady eyes look around frantically, and I can feel its tiny heart pounding in its tiny chest. I start heading back towards the library as fast as I can. Before I get very far, there's a noise from behind me, and I look back to see Silver following me. An empty paper towel dangles from her hand. Smiling to myself, I keep walking. Did she just grab the paper towel? Admittedly, we should have not given her the paper towel, and also not the little pack of jam. Like, if you were gonna give, like, just put the jam on the bread already so that there's not any trash left behind, because she'd probably complain about that. Guaranteed. When I step from the woods back onto the path, I expect Silver to have disappeared. Instead, she takes a few cautious steps out, looking left and right as if a car might come barreling down the mountain. Avoiding my eyes, she walks past me and keeps going, like she was planning to do this anyway. When we reach the base of Mount Victoria, she's a few meters ahead of me, and I clear my throat loudly to get her attention. Is she going the wrong way?
It's this way.
She stomps after me, annoyed at Wellington for its geography or something. Her clothes, which are clearly meant to help her sneak around at night, stand out like a sore thumb in the morning sun. They also must be hot as hell. If either of those things bother her, she doesn't let herself show it. I curl my fingers to shade the bird as much as I can. It seems to have calmed down a little, but that's probably more from exhaustion than anything. When we reach the library, Silver trails far behind. I wait at the entrance, not sure if she's coming or not. I don't ask. She'll do what she wants either way. After a moment, she walks up the hill and joins me. I simply nod in acknowledgement before I push open the door with my shoulder, Silver behind me like a shadow. Within seconds, Aspen pops her head out from the dining room.
Ah, Miho, we were just...
What was that sound? Choking in surprise, Aspen's eyes go wide as a saucer as she notices my companion. She disappears from sight, and I can only imagine what she's saying to Juliet right now. That was such a funny reaction. If anybody ever had that reaction to me when I walked in a room, I would die. Oh, fuck, that's so funny. Behind me, Silver looks around in curious awe, although she stops when she notices me watching. I jerk my head towards the dining room and head in. Both Aspen and Juliet are there waiting, trying to appear casual, but by the way they're both silently staring at the entrance, I'm sure it's just an act.
This is Silver.
She nods at the ground and says nothing, displaying none of her usual venom or drama. Feels as if she's hiding behind me, which is something I wouldn't have expected her pride to allow.
It's quite nice to meet you, Silver.
Charmed.
None of them know what to say. I can't blame them. Fortunately, there's something more important to talk about.
We came back here because we need some help. Or at least this guy does.
I uncurl my fingers and tilt my hands for Aspen and Juliet to see. I doubt either of them even noticed I was carrying something. They both lean in to see.
What's this?
A bird? The bird starts to struggle again probably because of how many more people are suddenly staring at it.
Ah, his leg. I'll be right back.
Peering at the little bird, it doesn't take Juliet more than a second to see what's wrong. She hurriedly departs for the stairs, moving right past Silver without a glance. Silver lurches to the side to get out of her way all the same. Aspen grabs one of the dish rags and folds it up to make a small square, then sets that on the table.
Here, why don't you put him down on this? I read that it's best to put him in a box or somewhere enclosed, but this will do for now.
I gently lower the bird onto the makeshift cushion. Its eyes still dart around, but it doesn't struggle as much. Sigh with relief at being able to unfold my hands, shaking and stretching them out before washing them several times. Juliet returns soon with her phone in one hand and a small cardboard box in the other. Using a kitchen knife, she cuts a few holes into the sides of the box and then puts it aside.
Miho, will you help me move him?
She takes 2 corners of the rag and I grab the other 2, and we carefully lift it over the box and then set it down inside.
Do you think it'll be okay?
I keep my voice at a whisper. Even though the bird can't understand our words, I still don't want it to hear.
I hope so. If not for you, it certainly wouldn't have a chance.
Where did Silver go?
I've contacted someone who will be able to provide better assistance than we can. She should be here shortly.
Is it a vet?
No, a contact at the nature preserve. She's rescued quite a few unfortunate creatures like our friend here.
I've never heard of a nature preserve before. What's that?
It's a conservation area on the north side of town. They have a bunch of protected land where they rehabilitate injured animals or ones that can't survive in the wild. I used to go there on class trips sometimes. One time we had a sleepover there, and I saw a kiwi.
Nice. She smiles fondly as she recalls the memory.
Whoa. I didn't know a place like that existed.
It's far from the only one. There are dozens more in New Zealand alone, of all different sizes.
Looking at the box on the table, I can't help but feel a little bad for our friend. He's probably never going to see his home on Mount Victoria again, and he doesn't even get a say in it. But at least he won't be dead. Where he's going doesn't sound half bad. Like Juliet said, he probably wouldn't have even survived if he'd been left on his own, if not for me and...
Silver?
I only now realize that she's gone.
Oh, I didn't even notice her leave.
She's like that.
I go out into the hallway, looking up the stairs and around the room for her. See, the problem is she's like a spider and she could be anywhere now. The front door is open, but only a crack. Something's keeping it from closing. Walking closer, I spot something on the floor, jammed between the door and the wall. It's the gnawed core of an apple wrapped in a breadcrumb-covered paper towel. Laughing, I pick it up and throw it in the trash, letting the door shut behind me. In the dining room, Aspen and Juliet are both seated again. It's far past Juliet's bedtime, but she looks as awake and alert as I've ever seen her. I sit down too, waiting for the question that I know is coming. It doesn't take Aspen more than 2 seconds.
So, who exactly was that? Obviously she was a Gumiho, but...
I take a deep breath and try to think of where to begin.
It's a long story.
You know that's my favorite kind.
Nodding, I finally settle on where to start.
She used to be a fox, just like me.
Telling Aspen and Juliet about Silver and answering all their questions takes a long time. Tell them just about everything, starting with back when we first met, right after I went to the museum. I leave out the parts about Silver's history, though. Instead, I talk about the time I've spent with her myself and the things I've learned from her. What have you learned from her? I don't know that we've learned anything from her, except that she's really annoying. Eventually, Aspen goes home, and Juliet goes to bed, and I spend the rest of my day watching TV and lazing around. Whatever happened to the bard? I close my eyes at one point, just intending to take a quick nap, but when I open them, I see that I've slept until nightfall once again. I don't mind too much. At least Juliet will be up by now. As I make my way towards Juliet's room, I notice the sound of conversation coming from inside her office. Freezing with my hand almost on the handle, I listen. We sure eavesdrop a lot, huh? And she likes to be like, it's not like I'm trying to eavesdrop. It's not like I'm doing this on purpose. You're doing this on purpose.
You were right all along.
I know all too well.
Is this... What's his face? That's not his name. What the hell was his name? I don't remember. I'm not gonna attempt. I've already embarrassed myself plenty of times before with fucking wrong names. It's the sound of a chair scraping across the wooden floor.
You always did have to learn things the hard way.
A few moments later, I hear the sound of flapping leathery wings from beyond the door and of papers being scattered. Flapping sound quickly grows distant and then disappears entirely. I let out a silent breath as I hear Juliet's footsteps and papers being picked up, and then Juliet sitting down in her chair once more.
You can come in now, Miho.
Oh, sorry. I wonder if they just didn't want to make a sprite for that guy, so we'll never get to see him. That's pretty funny. I really have lost my touch when it comes to sneaking, huh? I open the door as invited to see Juliet's study looking the same as ever. The open window and blowing curtains are the only indicators of her guest that just left. I lower myself into the empty chair as Juliet strikes a match, relighting the lamp that had blown out.
How much did you hear?
Like literally almost nothing.
Just the very end. I was coming to see you. I didn't know you already had company. Sorry for listening in.
It's all right. I don't feel the need to keep anything secret from you. The only reason I haven't introduced you to Ezekiel is for his sake. He isn't fond of meeting people.
So I had the first letter right.
It's okay. I know how that feels. What did you mean, though? About him being right?
Juliet laughs, closing her eyes.
Where to begin?
Oh. She stands up and closes the window, peering out into the night for a moment before she sits back down.
I told you that Ezekiel was the one who helped me gain my footing in the human world, yes? Well, there's a bit more to it than that. He was the one who turned me into a vampire in the first place. I have a story not too dissimilar from your own with Zhong Ying, though it began in a very different way.
Adjusting my seat so I'm next, Juliet, I lean forward and take her hand. Leaning against me, she idly runs her thumb across mine as she stares into the flickering candle, recalling days long past.
I was a human once, of course. Long, long ago. In those times, we didn't know about the underworld, or anything that lay beyond the edges of our sky. Few denizens of the underworld traveled to the overworld back then. Those who did were feared and reviled, but also disbelieved in. Truth turned to hearsay, hearsay turned to legend, and legend turned to fable. Stories told to impart some moral or lesson, not to be believed. That's where today's term fabled was first born. As a human, my life was painful and dull, and cursed by circumstance. I lived, believing and hoping for a better tomorrow that never came. There came a time when I had enough. Enough of agony, of poverty, disappointment. I took myself to the dry edge of the world, beyond which lay nothing but the unknown. And I threw myself off.
God damn! I gasp, unable to stop myself, even though I know she turns out okay.
As I fell, I had plenty of time to contemplate the stupidity of my decision, and to dread the fate that was rushing to meet me.
That's fucking brutal.
How solvable all my problems seemed as I fell away from them. What should have been the end was only more pain. Somehow I survived, but just barely. Broken.
That's the fucking worst.
As I opened my eyes for what should have been the last time, I saw trees and a purple sky that I thought must be heaven. Then, a figure appeared, and I was certain that I was in hell. Ezekiel offered me a choice. Breathe my last, or accept his gift and live on. From there, the world I had plummeted from, the world that contained all my pain and sorrow, was a minuscule dot, nearly imperceptible above me. That we are having this conversation is proof of what choice I made. In time, my body healed, though not fully.
Juliet taps her cane against the ground to demonstrate.
I had gifts and powers beyond my wildest dreams. I felt I had cheated both life and death. And yet, decades passed. Even the novelty of those gifts eventually wore off. There was a secret, though. A truth I had yet to learn. In the underworld, magic flows freely like air, imbuing those connected to it with power that lasts for generations. Yet being that close to so much magic at all times takes a slow toll even on the bodies of the fabled. We age down there, like humans, but at a much slower rate. But for those who live their entire lives in the underworld, no matter how long they may be, there eventually comes an end. Immortality was a lie. Not so in the world above, though. So distant from magic and its source, those effects aren't felt, and so immortality was truly attainable. Decades later, when it came time for war, I remained disinterested and unconcerned by its effects. When it came time for peace, I was equally indifferent. For a time. Ezekiel himself had tired of the hedonistic lives our kind led, and departed for the overworld nearly as soon as the dust had settled, determined to maintain a quiet and hermetic existence. He returned to the underworld occasionally, with stories of how things had changed and were changing. Eventually, curiosity got the better of me. I agreed to return to the overworld, just to see. We rode a lift upwards together, a journey that took days back then.
God.
And he told me of the island where he had settled down and found peace. He gave me only one piece of advice, which I brushed off as obvious and unnecessary: to not concern myself with the lives and affairs of mortals. We arrived near what would someday become Wellington, and soon went our separate ways again. I had intended to only make a short visit, to sate my curiosity. To my surprise, I discovered a world that had moved past much of the violence and suffering that I so hated, and a world that had come to welcome the fabled. I extended my short visit over and over, finding myself unable to leave. Gradually, Ezekiel's advice all but faded from my mind.
Finally, Juliet trails off. I sat with rapt attention the entire time she spoke, and only relaxed my muscles when I noticed how stiffly I've been sitting. Juliet doesn't have to finish her story, because I can say the last line for her.
Until you met Cosette.
Slowly she nods. We both sit there quietly, our hands locked together as we contemplate what she just shared. It's hard for me to picture Juliet as anything other than how she is today. Warm, patient, kind. Can't imagine her as someone who would have once been feared and reviled. Yet I can understand the pain, if only to a tiny extent. Can understand what some of those years must have felt like. For all my time alive, I've changed the most in the past few months by far, but for Juliet, her life has been nothing but change, both the world she came from and the world she exists in now. I also can't help but think about what she said regarding immortality.
So, the fact that you're thinking about going back to the underworld, a place where you get older, does that mean that you want to...
Juliet brings her other hand up to enclose mine, pressing it tightly.
Not for a long, long time. But I can't deny that around every corner, behind every door, lurks a painful memory of days gone by. I had never loved anyone before Cosette. Not in so deeply a way as to use that word. But there were still friends whose company I enjoyed, and time that was spent laughing and smiling. They're all gone now, but I'm not. I see their ghost everywhere. But those memories are all that I have left. I'm afraid to forget, just as I'm afraid to remember.
Flame dances on the candle wick, throwing a crazy shadow onto the wall. It'll burn itself out again soon. I know I should say something, but I feel paralyzed. Everything I could say feels inadequate. In the face of everything she told me, do I even have the right to want her to stay? If going back to the underworld is the only way for her to escape the pain, then shouldn't I want her to go? My brain tells me yes, but my heart tells me no. Heart tells me I want her to find a different way. Is that wrong of me?
Mia?
This sound of her voice breaks my reverie, and as she removes her hands from mine, I can see a sparkling uncertainty in her eyes.
I have something very selfish to ask of you.
What is it?
If I do go, would you come with me?
What?
Juliet speaks quickly, like she's embarrassed or nervous.
As a fabled, you would be safe in the underworld, unlike a human. But because your magic doesn't come from the same source, you would still be immune to time's flow.
That's really rude of you. Half of the reason that I rejected Aspen is because I didn't want Miho to fucking live on forever without her. And now you're asking me to do the same thing. I mean, probably at a slower, like it'd probably be a longer time, but still, that's fucked up.
I still can't decide. I feel terrible asking you this, and yet I know I would feel more terrible not to. Don't answer me now. Please, take time to think about it.
All I can manage is to nod dumbly. At least her second request is an easy one. Thinking about it is all I'll be able to do.
Thank you.
Right now, though, I want to do anything but think. Standing up, I reach for Juliet and pull her into a hug and a wordless kiss. When we finally do part, I lean my forehead against her and she rests herself against me.
I love you.
It's all I can think to say.
I love you too. Thank you.
What? What do you mean 2 weeks later? Oh, God. The next couple weeks go by in relative normalcy. I wake up, go to work, spend what time I can with Juliet. Aspen comes by occasionally, but for the most part is busy by herself. Neither Juliet nor I talk about that evening in her study or her invitation. We don't have to. It's practically the only thing on my mind. When I walk down Cuba Street or climb up Mount Victoria, I have to ask myself if I'm ready to leave it all behind. That's so mean. Miho's only been here for like a few months and you want her to leave the best places she's been in? That's so mean. I'm gonna die. How am I supposed to please be happy if you're being so mean to me? God. I want to be with Juliet. That part's easy to decide. Even if we've only been lovers for a few weeks, I've spent enough time with her to know that I want to stay with her. No, I can't promise her forever, but right now there's nothing I want more. Still, there's a lot I'd have to give up. Aspen and my other friends, as well as the first home I've ever had. The memories may be painful for Juliet, but for me, they're almost nothing but good. I always thought I was the kind of person who could move at the drop of a hat without worrying about leaving anything behind. Now I realize that's because I never had anything to lose before. The candlelight from Juliet's trusty lamp flickers as we sit quietly in the dark. There's the occasional noise of her pen scratching or of Juliet typing something on the computer, but it's otherwise silent. I sit with a book open on my lap. It's simple enough for me to read, but I've been on the same page for ages. Pictures of the underworld, both photos and drawings, take up most of the space. Captions go along with them, describing what some of the places are. An enchanted forest, a town where it never stops raining, a castle that can walk like a person. Oh my god, hello, is that you? They all sound and look interesting, but can't really make myself feel excited about the idea of seeing them, not the way things are now. The sound of Juliet closing her laptop catches my attention, and I look over to see her rubbing her eyes.
Done already?
For now. I have only this one request to work on, so I can take my time with it.
You look like you could use a nap.
Do I? I think I'm alright. The night's still young, after all. Perhaps a spot of tea would be nice, though.
Juliet reaches for her teapot, but frowns when she picks it up.
Ugh, I'm out. I have to fetch some more from downstairs.
I can get it for you. I could use a snack anyway.
That would be nice. Thank you, Miho.
Sure.
Really, it's just an excuse for me to put the book away. I hop up and go downstairs, leaving Juliet in her study. Despite the time that's passed since we talked about going to the underworld together, I don't feel any closer to deciding what I want to do. My relationship with Juliet only makes me more confused. Sometimes things between us don't feel much different than before we started dating. That has its ups and downs to me. I like that I don't feel pressured to act differently, but I also like all the new things, like kissing her and holding her hand. Juliet seems to enjoy those things too, but I wish I wasn't the one starting them all the time. Neither of us are the type of person to be really lovey-dovey like I've seen on TV, and that's fine. I know she means it when she says she loves me, and that's enough. Besides, both of us are still new to this, and I'd rather it be that way than feel like I need to catch up to her somehow. In the kitchen, I start boiling a pot of water while I make myself a sandwich. Juliet keeps tea leaves in the kitchen and in her office, so the only thing she needs me to bring is the water. I munch on my snack while I wait until steam starts to rise and the kettle whistles. Aspen got an electric kettle for Juliet that's much faster, but I know Juliet prefers her tea from a regular old pot. Once it's ready, I grab the kettle and carefully take it back upstairs with me.
Here you... Oh.
She's sleeping. Oh my god, look at that cutie. Look at this adorable motherfucker who's making me really sad. God damn it. The pen still in her hand, Juliet is slouched across an open book on her desk, fast asleep. As quietly as I can, I set the teapot down somewhere safe and tiptoe towards her. I was only downstairs for a few minutes, so she must have fallen asleep right after I left. I'm used to her going to bed right after we spend time together, but it's still early in her usual waking hours. Lately, though, I've been hearing the sounds of her being awake at all sorts of different times. Whether we're hanging out or not, guess it must be catching up to her. After moving the lamp a bit further away, just to be safe, grab a blanket from nearby and drape it across Juliet's shoulders. She doesn't react, but I can see it rise and fall with her steady breathing. There's something that feels odd about seeing Juliet asleep, and it takes me a moment to realize what it is. I'm not used to seeing her look so relaxed. With her eyes closed and sloppy posture, she doesn't look guarded or elegant or any of the other words that would usually describe her. Instead, she just looks like anyone else when they're asleep. Somehow, it's nice to see. I wish she could be this open when she's awake sometimes, too. Gently take the pen from her and set it aside, doing my best to keep the blanket from sliding off her. Then I lean forward and blow the candle out.
Good night.
I whisper into the darkness before tiptoeing out of the room, spending the last of my time before bed by myself. I'm warm. It's the first thought that comes into my head as I wake up. Not just the normal warmth of my bed and covers, but there's something else, something different. Groggily open my eyes and look around, but nothing appears any different. When I roll over onto my side, my necklace bumps against my chest. That's when I realize the source. My bead is what's causing it. Not only has its glow gotten brighter, but when I simply hold my hand near it, I can feel heat emanating. That seems dangerous. Is this thing a bomb? I'm almost afraid to touch it, but when I finally do, it feels as cool as ever to my fingers. There is something else that's different about it, though. Oh, fuck! A crack runs across it, so thin that I have to rub my eyes several times just to be able to see it. Could almost mistake it for a hair or something, except I can feel that it's not. When I put my fingertip over the tiny fracture. This looks like a lot more than what you're describing. This is a lot more than that. When I put my fingertip over the tiny fracture, my skin tingles, almost like a static shock. I can tell, either by instinct or touch, that the crack isn't surface level or caused by some damage. Instead, it comes from within, from something trying to get out. Egg? My heart starts to race, obliterating any lingering sleepiness. It still isn't ready, but it's getting closer. Soon it'll be time. Junho, Skyfox. My instincts tell me that that's my destiny, even if I don't know what it entails. I have mixed feelings about that, but mostly... Oh man, don't ask me this. I don't fucking know. I don't know. You can't ask me to fucking make a choice after all that other shit. We'll come back to this. I've only just remembered that I was supposed to be thinking about which choice I was gonna pick. But I forgot. Because it's been a few days. Well, we're just gonna... Miho has clearly Miho doesn't want to take charge of her life, and I have to keep making these decisions for her. So I'm just gonna pick, personally, what I would pick. For realsies me. Which is mostly this. I mean, there's a little bit of both there's a little bit of column A, column B, you know, but you know, change is good. Sometimes. Sometimes it's exactly what you need. It's intimidating, but it's also kind of exciting. I'm sorry, wait, hold on. This is it's specifically in reference to that. Okay. Yeah, that sounds exciting. You're gonna fucking get an evolved form. You're gonna become the fucking next evolution of your Pokemon type. Also kind of exciting. Feels like anything could happen, and the promise of change is enough to make me want to see what comes next. The predictability of my daily life is comfortable and reassuring, but sometimes I can't help but miss the open possibilities that used to define it. Those days were harder, for sure, but it was the struggling that made me appreciate the good times when they happened. Now I still appreciate everything and everyone that I have, but I wouldn't mind a bit more excitement.
It's too early for all this.
No, literally. Not that there would be a better time later. Still, I know that if I let myself think about these things for too long, I'll just start spiraling. Instead, I make myself get up and out of bed. For a small relief, the warmth from my bead has dissipated, like it just wanted me to notice it. It's still bright and still cracked, but at least it isn't uncomfortable. After freshening up, I go downstairs, where I'm surprised to find an empty kitchen. Juliet isn't around, nor are breakfast or any dishes. I don't mind not having food prepared for me, but it's pretty odd. Go back upstairs and knock on her study door, but there's no answer. When I peek inside, I see the blanket I put around Juliet neatly draped across her chair, as well as the teapot that I filled for her on the desk. No Juliet, though. I try her bedroom as well, but it's also empty.
Juliet?
She's clearly not here. I call out her name, but it just echoes around the empty building with no response.
Weird.
Go back to the kitchen and then her study to confirm one thing. Her parasol is gone. Which is weird because I swear to God I saw it when you came down here the first time, so maybe it's just another phantom TV situation. She must have gone out somewhere. Grab some ingredients from the fridge and throw a pan onto the stove to make myself breakfast. I've never done it before, but I've seen Juliet cook enough times that it shouldn't be too hard. So we're gonna burn the house down, it sounds like. Prepare some eggs and toast. Same thing we usually have.
Not too bad.
The steaming meal isn't as tasty as what Juliet makes, but it's edible, at least. The eggs are kind of rubbery, and the toast is more like slightly warm bread. You could have just put it back in the... Could have just cooked it longer then, man! I eat it all anyway. Either way, I'm proud of myself for making it. As I'm finishing up, I feel something buzzing near my side, and it takes me a moment to realize it's my phone. Fish that out to see that I have a message from Juliet. Good morning, are you awake? Yeah, I made food. Sorry I didn't cook for you. I'm at the mountain. Would you like to join me? On my way! Typing out each message is slow going, and judging by how long it takes for Juliet to respond, it's not easy for her either. I'm sure Aspen would have done it in half the time. Still, it's a surprise to hear Juliet's up on Mount Victoria, especially at this sunny hour. I'm sure I'll find out why soon. After cleaning up after myself, I finish opening up the library and then head over to the mountain myself.